If you're just joining us or if you're checking out the recap, we are with Shana Danielle about her book of poetry and affirmative poetry at that. That's allowing you to just get rid of those burdens that are allowing you to move forward to your purpose. And
so Rise is a poem where it's about, regardless of where you end at on the spectrum, whether you're just somebody who, don't like how you look in the mirror, or you're somebody who's going through domestic violence or drug abuse or things like that, you can rise above all of those issues.
It was interesting that you said in the beginning, the healing of with your complexion and things. Yes. It's amazing that I actually, and it could have just been maybe a bubble that I was in. I don't know. Like growing up, you just absolutely beautiful. And I've heard people say that they receive comments like you're cute for a dark skinned girl type thing. And I'm just like, people say that? Yes. What in the world? That is like, why would you say that? That's horrible, But honey, you are stunning. I cannot say it enough. This glow is amazing. You're stunning. And I want to thank you for touching on that subject, because it, like I said, it could have just been my ignorance from being in some sort of protective bubble growing up. Mm-hmm. And it was in my adulthood that I actually learned that there were people that were having issues with the fact, they're darker. And I'm just saying to myself, that's horrible. I'm grateful that I never had to endure it. But I'm also grateful for the people that shine a light on it and that actually, like yourself, are the healers to those who need to hear it. Because the reality of it is, if I'm understanding it now, that means that there are younger girls that are dealing with it. So that's amazing. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. In my book, I cover it a little bit, not in this one, not in the poetry, but after poetry, I talk a little bit about some personal issues. And I talk about how not only did I experience it within the Caucasian community, I also experienced it within the Black community as well. The Caucasian community, it was just like, oh, you're just Black. Where within our community, it was like, you're too Black. Yeah, it was just really weird, and as a kid, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't love myself. I wish that I kept all my same features, but I wasn't dark skinned, and I don't know, I just had to heal and just grow from that. And on this journey of healing and growth, I wrote poetry, through it to help me, but in helping me heal, it's now a gift for other people to help other people heal.
Right. Right. And we were saying behind the scenes about poetry, it can be either short or it can be long, but it is so powerful. So very powerful. So what made you decide on poetry versus, I don't know, songs, which technically a lot of times it's the same, or stories, or what made you decide for poetry?
So in the 7th grade, talk about that a little bit in my book too. I had this one teacher and she introduced me to poetry. She the creative writing, that was my favorite part. And I guess I was never introduced to that before. And Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes and Nikki Giovanni and stuff. And I just loved their art and I loved their writings. And it was during the Renaissance time and stuff. And, just about overcoming those things. So for me, as in middle school, the little dark skinned, little ugly Joan, it was wow, this is really good. And then when I would write in her, classes, she was like, girl, this is really good. This is really good. Wow. And so it was like, oh, wow, somebody likes it. Somebody likes something I did. So I just kept going with it. It was really, healing for me. And poetry, I guess, is my baby.
Okay. Like I said, there's always just a special part in my heart for poets, because it's you're a word artist. I don't know how to say it. You're a word artist, and it's amazing. So, if it's okay with you, if we could hear a poem of your choice.
So I'm gonna do the one that I kind of opened my book up with.
Okay.
And this book, it was a journey of putting it together, was a journey of putting myself together at that time. Mm-hmm. I went through a lot of things last year and earlier this year, and me and my husband was we're gonna lace up our boots, we in the trenches, we're gonna get with God and we're gonna get out this thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. and us getting closer to God, God, told me I was going to write a book, and I wanted to write it years ago, but I wasn't ready yet. So, he finally was like, it's time to write the book. So I started writing the book, and in writing the book, I had to release forgiveness, not just for other people, but also for myself.
Right.
So I forgive you. Not because you apologized or owned your web of lies, but because I realized it would help the pain subside. My soul identified needing healing, not demise. No more tears in my eyes. Restoration. Spirit cried. Forgiveness. I survived. Dancing. I feel alive. Peace no longer hides. Forgiveness now resides.
I love it. I love it. And it's so true. Like, it literally packs in everything that is the reality of forgiveness in such a short verse. I love it. I love it. And this one is about forgiveness.
Yes.
So I was always told, and this is exactly what your poem illustrates, that forgiveness is always for you.
Yes.
Not the other person.
Yes.
And how important was that to understand when you experienced whatever you experienced that prompted you or inspired you to write this poem?
So the person I needed to forgive at this time was not a person that was going to apologize or anything like that. And, sometimes as people going through, our journey, we get offended and people like hurt us and stuff. And so then, we be holding on to this and we think that being unforgiven is like strength and it's strong. And it's like, I ain't gonna forgive them. Who they think they are.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's like us sitting here drinking bleach and expecting them to get sick.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, those type of emotions, those type of feelings will erode you from the inside out.
Yes, it will. And so I know that I wouldn't have been able to release this book. I know I wouldn't have been able to rise and walk in my purpose if, one, I didn't forgive other people, but then I also had to forgive myself just for different things over the year. I mean, we make mistakes and things like that, on this journey of life. I mean, but I had to forgive myself, because if not, then I'm going to be stuck in the same thing and not able to grow. You just got to let it go. Like, let it go. And not be offended. Offense is going to happen, and like, people are going to upset us. We're human, we're going to make mistakes for ourselves and towards other people, but we got to release that stuff. As soon as it comes, we got to let it go. As soon as it comes, we got to let it go.
Right. Acknowledge it and let it go.
The forgiveness process, it was necessary, or this book wouldn't be what it is now. So
right. I like it. Have to release those burdens so you can rise. If you are just joining us, we are live with Shana Danielle. And listen, she is really as amazing as she's showing us right now. Like, we literally was having an amazing time. Before we came on live, like, she is brimming with joy. So much. And it's just so much. And I just love it. Now, you are also a life coach. How do you incorporate your poetry into...
Poetry is a part of me. My friends, they'll be like, here she goes. She always busting out in a poem. And it just comes, so natural. Stuff will just happen. I mean, like shoes in my book. I wrote shoes because I was dealing with some people and I had like this really deep poem that I wrote. And they said, okay, that was good, but you can't write on anything. No, you can't. I said, well, give me something to write on. And they said shoes. And I turned shoes into a poem about not judging people because of the shoes that they in, girl.
Are we gonna hear that one?
You want to hear shoes?
Yes. You can't just talk about it and not let us hear that.
All right, let's do shoes. Shoes. Sneakers, high heels, open toes, espadrilles, sandals. There are many different kinds of shoes. Cowboy boots, pumps, so many to choose. Flats, Mary Jane's loafers and flip-flops, wedges, gladiators, stilettos, and Crocs. Everyone has a different style they like. Some you may wear, other shoes are solely their type. In basketball, you can crisscross with mics or lace up Sauconys when you ride your bike. But the call on our lives is for us to finish happily, soon you'll see, cause I'm a witness. So be supportive, humble, open, encouraging, and share. One day, you may have no shoes to wear.
I love it. You are good. Like, good is an understatement. Like, you are amazing.
Thank you.
I would I cannot explain enough. Like, a word artist. Like,
Thank you.
yes, you are really great. Like, amazing. You guys, her book is called Rise. It is poetry. And you literally just had 2 previews of what you have in store for you. And it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. It's inspiring and it's also teaching you something. So I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
How do you view the concept of fear? How do you speak to your clients or to your people that you're working with and advise them on it?
So for me, fear, there's, in life, a good moderation of everything. And fear is there because if you have the right amount of dose of fear, it can keep you safe, where let's say it's like you have a fear of getting into a car accident. So you wear your seatbelt. Okay, cool. That's a healthy dose of fear. You stop at a red light. Cool. Healthy dose of fear. But are you so full of fear that you never get into a car and drive? Unhealthy dose of fear.
Right.
So there's levels with fear, and I feel as though that we have to, and I try to help people identify what's the root of what caused the debilitating fear, because it's levels.
Right.
Things like, let's say you want to eat some grits and you put a little bit of salt in there. Cool, that's good. But if you mess around and you fill up a whole bottle of salt and you dump it into the grits, now you're gonna be sick, So some people think like, oh, we can just wild out and just do whatever. I have no fears. Well, if you're not scared of anything, then you can't be safe, But you don't want to be so full of fear that you never enjoy life at all, And sometimes we could be scared to speak to new people. We have this fear and we get anxious and anxiety about dealing with new people. Okay, well, what caused that? We got to trace it back, and was it something as a child that happened where maybe you wanted to speak, to people and your parent might have said, oh, no, you can't do that. Well, then that's the issue you had with a parent. So now we got to go back, and it all goes back to another F word, forgiveness. And we got to forgive certain situations, and then we can move past our fears and start to enjoy and live our life.
So I'm right to assume you do spoken word?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Do you do any that you can tell us where we can find it? Like, we need to know.
I just started a YouTube channel, so I put one of them on my YouTube channel at Shana Danielle TV. So outside of my the little kid video, the most recent one is Sis, you're highly blessed and unbelievably valuable. You could go on Shana Danielle TV. You can click that, and you'll get to see me perform one live.
I like it. Now, tell me, did you have another poem that you wanted to share, or did we meet our quota?
Oh, no. We could do another one, but I'll close out with Rise. But
I was gonna ask you about that one, but I was like, maybe she doesn't want to give that one away because it's
no.
We're
gonna close out with Rise.
Okay.
So this is my journal, real quick, that I had.
Ooh.
I released a journal.
Okay.
In the journal, I talk about how to journal, because journaling is a good way for us to rise and overcome certain fears. And I feel as though writing is healing. It allows us to think back and reflect on old things when we're writing them.
Right.
When we're going through something, I can look back at something I wrote a year ago and it's like, oh wow, I overcame that. Or oh wow, I was really happy then. Well, what was causing me so happy so I can be that now? But this journal,
where can we find this journal?
It's on my website, shanadanielle.com.
Okay.
It's on Amazon, and it's at Barnes & Noble as well. But I tell y'all, help support us independent artists. Purchase from our website.
shanadanielle.com.
Yes.
Let's see if you can get that in the comments. Okay.
And so I started off, this is a 90-day guided journal. It is like a vision board, to start your goals for that quarter. And then I have different activities in here. This is affirmations activities, questions, how to find your purpose. What else? This is my favorite activity right here. This brain dump activity, how we were talking about fear and things like that. Write them down. What shame, anger, anxiety, any type of negative feelings, write it down, when it happened, what caused it, and things like that. But for people who don't know how to journal, it's not just a blank lines like where
Right.
I gave you guided activities in here. And, over the course of that quarter, you should be able to, hopefully have grown some. And the start of the first Thursday of every month, this is a coping skills activity. And in here, in the coping skills, for that month, you want to determine what things help you when you're not feeling, your best. Is it journaling? Is it reading a book? Is it watching a movie, playing with a pet? But all those things are in here. So that's my journal to, help people rise and walk in their purpose.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that it's guided because, there's a lot of places and a lot of people that will tell you that you should journal, you should get your emotions out, you should get your this out. But it's like, where do I start? Yeah. Like, am I just like writing every day? It's like, it's like, what do I do? Like, what do you
don't know what works for you? Maybe you need self-care trackers. Maybe you need, that brain dump. Maybe you need a doodling space. I mean, the journal I create is for you to figure out what works for you.
I like that. I really, really like that. That's nice. That's really nice.
So we are going to, I guess, close out with Rise.
Let's do it.
Rise. You can rise. Yes, it seems you're on the bottom right now, making it out. You just don't see how, but what is a diamond before it is refined? Cold. Something black and ugly, not even worth a dime. But then it goes through a metamorphosis, like how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. There is a reason for your suffering, although you may not yet understand why, but you can rise.
As I'm listening to you, I'm saying to myself that before long, somewhere in our lifetime, with the same vigor that we speak about Phenomenal Woman, we will speak about this poem. So that's amazing. And I like the fact that it's a closing poem for the book because you've gone through the different chapters and parts, telling people of the individual things to let go, to allow them to rise. And then it just recaps with reminding them that you let go of all these things for the purpose of rising to your purpose.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
It's a bonus one after that for people that get the book. It's a bonus one after.
We can't tell them that one. You got to go get the book.
No, they can't get that one, but it's a bonus.
You have to get the book. And your book can be purchased via your website as well, right?
Yes. Yep. ShanaDanielle.com. And I'm actually going to put a promo code in here as a thanks to you, and it'll be Sassy Writer, and people can save 20% by using promo code Sassy Writer.
Go get the ordering. Look at that, right in time for the holidays and everything. Yeah, can't wrap up without letting the people know what we can expect next from Shana Danielle.
So there are a couple of different things I'm going to have coming out in the new year. I am going to have my audiobook release for people who, maybe don't even know how to read. They just need to listen to it. Or maybe you want to listen and read along. So the audiobook is going to be coming out. I have inspired my 6-year-old daughter to come out with a book. So her book will be releasing next month. You heard it here first, y'all, right here.
Hello, that's an exclusive. We want the baby on. I'm gonna have to get with you on that, okay?
Yeah, but her book is going to be a coloring book filled with affirmations. Aww. Because I would have her come out with me for my vending events, and she would hear me speak, and she was like, "Mommy, I want to come out with a book as well." And so she came up with the idea, and we worked with a designer to bring her vision to life. But we are in the final stages.
Love it. Yay! I love it. I absolutely love it. This has been an absolutely amazing interview with you. Probably one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure it is one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
It has been so much fun. So much fun. Do you have anything else you want to give to the people on the way out?
Join me on this journey, y'all, so we can rise and walk in our purpose.
Exactly.
So y'all go on to the website. You can get the journal. We got Rise.
That journal is amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We have been with Shana Danielle, and it has been absolutely amazing on this lovely Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Be sure to catch the playback, and be sure to support her. Thank you so much, and catch us again on live here with the Sassy Writer and Shana Danielle, because we're gonna have to talk about it, baby. We're gonna have to talk about it. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and have an amazing evening.